Oh, hey, how's it going? Yeah, so working on the diverter. We've got a couple of different versions here we've kind of cycled through. This was the original one I did last time, if you remember. And, well, it had its issues. If you recall, this one was like at the top here, was so big. If you came from the right, the ball went where it was supposed to. But if you came from the left, it totally bricked. It wasn't working. So that was too big. So we got rid of that. So I've been playing around with ball guides and pieces of metal, trying to go through and figure out, what shape and how big of a diverter do we need. Because what I want to have happen, I want to make it to where when you bring the ball from the right, that the diverter lowers down and the ball goes right behind, if you remember that, and comes over here. But if it comes from the left, I don't want it to go and just like brick here and do nothing. I want it to be able to continue around. So kind of been playing with geometry, figuring out, out of this arc here that we have, right, this curve, how big of a section and at what point in that curve can we cut it out and have the ball still make it around, okay? Now, I don't know if it's absolutely necessary because, hello, we have computers. So, well, one of you I think might have mentioned this in the comments even, right? And I've considered this as, well, you could do the diverter you had, Steve. You could do the big giant one. And when the ball comes in from the right and the right, conditions have been met, that it hits a switch, that this lowers and the ball goes that way. And if the ball comes from the left, maybe there's a couple switches, right? If it's 1, 2, like in a series, then you pop the diverter back up so the ball goes the right way. I've considered that. We might still need to do, I don't know, I might still need to work that into to the software config, but this is just too giant big of a diverter. That is just too much possibility that the ball is not really going to go where I want it to. It's going to get messed up. The switches won't time it correctly. I mean, the velocity of the ball, there's so many variables there for my little head. So what I came up with after that was a really small diverter, really short. And it's kind of got the little thing, the ball, got the little slots of the ball as it comes in, will kind of gradually get brought into the right place. And I started to work with that. But the angle I had, the curve, it was just not quite the right spot. Like that size was about right. I tested it out and it was working pretty good. But when the ball came from this side, it was just a little too rough of an entry into that diverter when it was up. The ball was kind of bouncing. So I figured I'd go from that one to this one, which is a little bit bigger again. Now, it's not as big as this guy, okay? But you might say it's close. Well, this one, if you can see that curve, it's got a little bit different curve. The idea here is that this is the top side of that arch. So the ball is coming up here, starts the curve, okay, and continues around. Or, that's probably the best thing to do. Let me just show it to you like that. Okay, so again, basically the same idea as the shorter diverter here. Okay, it's about the same idea as that shorter diverter, but now it has this tail here. All right, so when the ball comes from the right side, from this side, it'll more gradually blend into this. Okay, it's not bouncing. It's not as sharp of an entrance there for the ball. So that, and I've got to trim this metal piece a little bit, that ball guide. But that lets the ball come in nice and smooth and go where it needs to. And when it comes down, this spot is laid enough in the curve, we've got enough momentum coming around, that with the other piece of metal that's going to be there behind it, it still goes all the way around. Now it does have a little bit of a ricochet here. Okay, it's not quite as smooth and flowy as when the diverter is up, but it was working very consistently for me. Okay, so that's what we're going for today. So the other thing I've iterated on is, I had, that's not the one. I had a piece of metal here, okay, and then I had the diverter, and then I had another ball guide like coming around, and then I realized, well, this could all be just one long ball guide, just the outer loop, okay? This should just be one ball guide that comes all the way around here, protects the orbit, keeps this shot coming from here nice and clean. Now we have this one nice clean path coming all the way around. I don't need two pieces. So we're going to get rid of that. Okay. We're going to take this piece. I measured the length of the metal. It's 26. This is 26 inches. Just happen to have the right piece left over. And we're going to go through and we're going to curve it and have it do the right bend to come back behind here. Okay? And then we'll put in the new diverter. The other thing I did is I invested in a grinder. Several of you recommended this. I got a benchtop one instead of a handheld one because I just wanted it to be nice and stable. But that's been way better at cutting these metal ball guides. So, yeah, better than that other big blue cutter I had that just busted my wood. So this is now the new tool. Where are my glasses? Here we go. Safety first. There we go. All comes in, boom, looking pretty good. All right, here we are with the diverter, okay? Now these are wiggling, they're not riveted down, but you'll get the general idea. They're not final, but they're pretty close. So with the diverter up, ball is going through pretty smooth. Okay, with the diverter down, whoop, ball goes right where it's supposed to. All right, and then from this side, comes back down, pretty good. Now we've got, you know, some back and forth here because it does come through and hit it. But if you notice where it's hitting, it's not hitting like right up here and stopping dead. It's hitting it down here. We've got just enough of a curve going that it knows where to go. Okay, yeah, it's hitting like right about here. Moving my metal ball guide, but yeah. Obviously, smoother once the diverter's up, but it works. If the diverter's down, a ball comes from the left, it's not going to go anywhere it's not supposed to. It's going to go down the right direction. All right, so there we go. Yeah, I like how it's coming together. So we've still got a couple things to do. We're going to get some pop bumpers, one down here low, one up top, I believe. There might be another target or shot we can do over here on this side to fill things in. Still playing around with that in my mind, but I think we've got all of our core shots now going. Okay, we've got our orbit going all the way around. We've got our horseshoe with the diverter working. We've got this little set of inline drop targets. We've got our ramps going. We've got the shot coming underneath this ramp that connects through. We've got this quick loop with the spinner into the vuck and that ramp. Yeah, I think we've made really good progress, so we're getting there. Quicker video today, but I wanted to get this diverter working the way it was intended. I think we're pretty much there. Lots more to do still. Sorry things have been slow. Real life kind of caught up to me. I'm hoping to do more over the holiday break here. We'll see. No promises. I'm going out of town for a week. But yeah, hopefully your guys' projects are going good. If you haven't started your own homebrew project yet, why not? Get on it, all right? There's so much help out there, all right? I'm getting help by everybody out in the community. I'm not figuring this all out on my own. So everyone's going to help you out too. So jump onto it, all right? You'll have a lot of fun. Catch you guys next time. See ya.